Rabbit Hole Roundup, episode 39. Don't fall for the black pill trap. In today's new edition of the Rabbit Hole Roundup, I'm going to be addressing a sentiment that I see echoed all over social media, as well as in my comment section oftentimes, which is essentially like, the world is done, this world is done.
We'll commence with the all-out destruction of Earth.
There's nothing good left to hang on to. Let's just start focusing on how to get into heaven, because it's not possible to create heaven on earth here in God's beautiful creation. Or it's all satanic, everything is so evil. Let's just wait for the end times prophecy to come and take us all out.
How dare you! How dare you say such a thing!
So now I'm going to be addressing why I find this perspective to be wrong on so many levels, and why I think that that's actually falling into the whole black pill trap that they want you to fall into. I'm also going to be talking about Robert Downey Jr. returning as a villain in the Marvel Universe, and my thoughts on that. I'm going to be touching a little bit on the whole Olympics opening ceremony and the whole satanic stuff behind that, but why we shouldn't give all of our energy over to the outrage. And the main focus is going to be how to find the good in the world, which is my hope in all my videos, to help you guys see the light in yourself, in the world, and how to bring more of that into the world. So without further ado, let's dive into this rabbit hole now.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jared Weiss. If you guys didn't know, that must mean you're not subscribed to the channel, so you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts on this video. Follow me on every platform, and if you guys haven't done so already, make sure to buy my book, Fight Through It by Jared Weiss, on my website. You guys can find all the links to purchase it there. It's jaredryanweiss.com. JaredRyanWeiss.com. Please support me. Please support the brand. Please support everything I'm doing. It would be very much appreciated, and it would help me to help you guys even more. So, start things off, I want to address powerful sentiment that I see being echoed all over social media.
I'm listening.
Which is the black pill trap. For instance, when I go on Twitter these days, it's essentially become, as Sam Tripoli calls it, a trauma delivery service. Which is, so as soon as I open it up, everything is all dark, it's all evil, it's people fighting with each other, it's people killing each other.
Yeah, well, if you'll kill this person, who's to say I wouldn't be next? But you know me! I thought I did.
But as far as I see it, real life is actually way more beautiful, most of the time. And also, to be clear, if you guys followed the right accounts on social media, you would see that too. But a lot of people are so overly focused on the darkness. And have allowed it to overly consume their whole lives, post every infraction that they see in the world, which I'm not going to say that we should ignore these things because I'm all about bringing awareness to these things, but you don't want to stay in that vibration, because if you're overly focused on that, you end up in fear and you put other people in fear, and fear is actually the lowest vibration. So once again, I see way too many people saying that this life is unsavable, there's nothing good left here, but as far as I see it, that's exactly what they want you to think. That's why they've tried so hard to invert everything and to take the joy out of things. But we don't want to fall into that trap of doing that for them. We do want to see the darkness, but then shift over to the light. It's like the famous quote goes, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So if they're showing us darkness, and if they want us focusing on that, consumed by it, and then we fall into that of only posting the bad things, of only focusing on the bad things, staying at this low vibration, how are we ever going to find the light? Now the next topic I want to get into, which is going along the same lines, and I know that saying this might ruffle some feathers, but stick with me, hang with me, don't get upset until you hear the whole story behind what I'm saying.
Whoa, bruh. Hang loose.
So, as I've spoken about in the past, and as many of you know, I am a huge fan of the Bible, and I do respect many of the teachings in there. I believe that, it is very powerful, but having said that, you also have to be a fool to think that, it hasn't been manipulated and altered over the years by the Vatican, by the people in power, quote unquote. So, this leads me into, what if this whole idea of the end times is actually just a big psyop, and what if we're actually playing a role in manifesting our own downfall?
You just blew my mind.
By believing that the end times are coming, so there's no reason to make this world better and to create heaven on earth here, but we should only just focus on the next life. I mean, I personally believe that of course I'm all for God's word above all, but I wouldn't doubt that parts of the Bible, the book of Revelation, as Elle Stone spoke about when she came on my podcast, as I keep bringing back up, how it's been manipulated and how some of these things could even have different meanings. So like this whole idea of rapture doesn't even have to mean what we've been told it means. It could just mean like a whole new beginning. So if you're someone who's waiting for the end times to come,
Oh, it's definitely the end times.
if you're someone who's waiting for the next life, why would you sign a soul contract with God to come here at this time? And as many of us believe in, and as many of you who are listening to me believe in, we all have a divine purpose for being here. So if we're all divinely created to be here right now, to be on this earth right now, to be on God's beautiful creation, don't you think that like we have some power to make change and to make life beautiful here? I don't know about you guys, but like I want to live a long, healthy, happy life here, and I want to make this world a better place. And I know that like whatever comes next will most likely be based on what I do here right now. So if I could make a positive impact here, I think I could actually play a powerful role in helping everyone here. And then all of our eternal souls will be benefited as a result. To live here doesn't just mean that you're alive and that you're existing. It actually means like you're doing things. As my friend Josh brought up when he came on the podcast on the Jared and James channel a few months ago, the Bible could essentially be summed up by saying, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, which means action. It implies doing good for others and doing good for yourself, and then you end up raising the vibration of our whole realm, I believe. I see a lot of people online getting into arguments over, oh, is this person interpreting this verse wrong in the Bible? Is this person interpreting this wrong?
Get him, lads. Yeah!
I think that like that's exactly what they want to have happen. They want religions fighting amongst each other. They want gender wars, spiritual wars. All this is all about divide and conquer. But I don't think that like that's what God would have wanted for us. And I don't mean this to sound like I'm attacking the Bible in any way, because I do believe the Bible is very powerful. This is just me talking about parts that I think have been manipulated, and also seeing the Bible as a tool that could be used for good or bad. If you or anyone is using a tool to spread more hate or to spread more division, like I don't think that you're using that tool for good, and I don't think that you're using that tool the way that God intended you to. I feel also like God gave us these bodies for a reason. We have the ability to feel.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
I'm feeling a warm spot. Sorry.
Emotions, to feel out vibrations too. So I say that like while reading the Bible is awesome, and I do think it is very powerful, we do also have to go with vibration and understanding what things provide us long-lasting fulfillment and long-lasting happiness. Go with vibration. Why is it that like love is always going to be the highest vibration and fear is always going to be the lowest vibration? I think it's ultra important for us to get in tune with how we're living our lives. I mean, so like doing things such as meditating makes us feel good, eating high quality food, treating others right, complimenting people, talking positively about yourself. I think that like if we want to know how to get into heaven or how to create heaven on earth, I think that it's less about arguing over this verse or that verse or how to interpret this or that. I think in addition to that, we also have to live our lives and see how our life treats us in return.
No, but there's karma, Kramer.
If we do something that's only about temporary pleasure but like brings long-term pain, that's our life's way of telling us like doing that thing is most likely wrong and it's most likely bad for us. On the other hand, if we're treating others right and if we're treating ourselves right, we're going to feel good about ourselves. We're going to be happy. We're going to be at harmony with nature. We're going to be at peace.
Inner peace.
And so I think that like doing those things is how we live our best lives. You don't get to a more loving place by pushing and sharing more hate, more division, calling this group of people morons, or calling this group of people brainwashed slaves, or calling this group of people a bunch of brainwashed idiots.
What an idiot!
We have to start vibrating at the frequency of love and then share that with others, especially for the people who are aware of what's going on. We have to be more mature. We can't fall into these petty battles of saying anyone who doesn't believe what we do is an awful human being, you're all going to hell.
What are you going to hell? No, you go to hell.
Or you're all a bunch of brainwashed morons. Help people. Model the change. Vibrate at the frequency of love. Treat others right. And yes, of course there are going to be people who aren't ready for our message, but like we can't save everyone. So we may as well start with ourselves, start at an individual level, and then help others who are ready to hear our message. Plant the seeds, and then eventually that vibration is going to spread. Yes, talk about everything. Bring awareness to the evil. But make sure not to stay and hang around at that vibration, because as far as I see it, if you do that, you're just as bad as the people who fall for everything and who refuse to hear the truth. I think the best way to go about this is to share the truth, educate people, help them see the light. And if they're not ready for it right now, that's okay. But as I keep reiterating, we have to stop with the name calling, stop falling into all these arguments, and find the more loving people, and be one of those people. What if we all created our own little plot of heaven on earth, and overcome everything that like they're trying to do to us? What if just every person watching this video or watching this clip took that own personal responsibility, got out of the whole victimhood mindset, even if in certain cases it may actually be justified, but it doesn't mean like you have to use that. Can we all make a tiny change, a tiny ripple? I believe so. I'm someone who's trying to inspire kids out there, be a role model for kids and adults alike, actually. So do I really want them believing like the world is a horrible, nasty, evil place?
Well, this sucks.
And all these evil people will make it so that you never succeed, you never have a chance? Or on the other hand, can we take a victor's mentality? Can we say, yes, life might be hard sometimes. Yes, these people are trying to make it even harder. Yes, there are evil people who exist, who are trying to run our lives and to keep us at this low vibration. And once again, some of the excuses may be valid, but you are so powerful. You have God on your side and you can overcome anything in spite of what they throw at you. Which perspective looks better, which perspective is more empowering, and which one is at the very least going to make a tiny change in the world consciousness. There's this prevailing sentiment that's going around that actually is getting promoted by social media.
But mine's more of a social sharing on the line that's happening.
Online.
Which is that we are powerless and we have no say in what happens in our lives. Which is exactly what they want to make us feel like. Which is the whole purpose of demoralization through politics, through idol worship, through celebrities, through inverting our whole reality. They want us to think like we have no say in what goes on, but we do. It starts with us at an individual level, and then we create a whole chain reaction. And furthermore, it's like what I see happening when it comes to the whole Olympic ceremony. Of course, I'm not for any of that horrible satanic Last Supper mocking display that was put on.
What is that? Ugh, it's hideous.
But I also want to say, don't give too much energy to the outrage. Don't give all your spiritual energy to fighting against what they're putting out, because doing that acknowledges that like it bothers you. It's the same thing as what happens when you have a bully.
O'Doyle rules.
If you show the bully like he's bothering you, what's gonna happen? He's gonna keep doing it because that's exactly what he wants. So like the people who are putting this whole show together want you to be outraged. They want you to be upset because that shows that like they have the power over you. And once again, we do have to talk about it, we do have to acknowledge it, but once we get past that, can we then shift our focus to things that are more enlightening, they're more empowering, and they're more beneficial for us as a whole? Because, of course, doing that takes the power away from the bully. Next up, this leads me into a video I want to share, because I actually don't agree with this video.
You know what really grinds my gears?
But like, I'm gonna explain why in a minute.
Yoga is like a whole thing. I have a lot of stuff on this, but it's not just stretching. It is by design, by definition, it's historical context, it's curation. It is intrinsically a spiritual practice, and it is divination. You're creating a demonic altar with your body. Like people like to use 1 Corinthians 8, right? Where it's, oh, if it's meat sacrificed to idols, it's okay, it's a matter of conscience, but it's, first of all, that's about food, completely different. Yeah. You're literally using your body as a sacrifice. Yeah. It's not just food that you're eating, it's you're putting yourself on the altar of worship for these pagan deities. And that's exactly what yoga is, no matter what your intentions are, because exactly what we were saying before, your intentions are irrelevant. It is a pagan practice. And even God himself says, because a lot of people will like to say as Christians, you know, I read the Bible, I pray, I listen to worship when I do yoga. Even God himself says, don't worship me the way that the pagans worship their gods. So right then and there, like the whole argument just falls apart, because even God himself says, even if this were okay, which it's not, I don't want you to do it because I don't want to be worshipped the way they worship their gods.
So, why do I disagree with this sentiment? Because we have to get out of this fear of everything mentality. I believe our intentions do matter. So like here she is claiming that all yoga is satanic. But I believe that everything has power for light and dark within it, depending on the person using it, the purpose they're using it for, and the way like the practice is being carried out. So, as I actually spoke about in one of my other videos, yoga has been corrupted by the Western world and turned into a different practice than like it was originally intended to be. But I also see and believe tons of people get great benefit from it. People are able to clear their minds. People are able to actually get in touch with God better. People are able to clear blockages, whether mentally or physically. So I believe that like it's so important to get out of this fear of everything, this fear of seeing everything as bad, like everything is all bad, when it's actually not the case. If people can do this practice, feel this long-lasting satisfaction, get in touch with their spirituality, like I don't see how that could be perceived as anything other than a beautiful practice. Your intentions matter, and as I always say, nothing is black or white.
This is not about black and white.
Or very few things are black or white. There has to be room for some nuance, because if we're living in fear of everything being satanic or everything being evil, what are we left with? you give up all your power to them. You give up all your power to the evil, as opposed to being someone who could transform it into something beautiful and something great. Next story I have. So like, as many of you guys know, Iron Man, or Robert Downey Jr. is returning to the MCU as a villain. So how did this happen if Tony Stark died? I'm just curious, like, how are they going to present this? How do you guys think they're going to present this? What's the reason for bringing him back when he was supposed to have died off, or his character was supposed to have died off? Could there be any way to spin this that actually makes it make sense? Why do you think they brought him back? Do you think that like it could be because the last few Marvel movies have been struggling? Could this have been the plan from the start? I don't know. I'm just curious because I am a huge Marvel fan, I am a huge Avengers fan, but I was definitely baffled by the decision to bring him back as a villain now.
If you're not gonna give me any respect as a hero, then maybe you'll give me respect as a villain.
But hey, as the famous quote goes, you either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain, which is actually from the movie Dark Knight. But as I spoke about in one of my other Iron Man videos, the truth about Iron Man, as well as the Avengers Age of Ultron video I did recently, could Tony Stark actually be this evil figure who claims to be the savior, but isn't really? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see about that. That was just like a short topic I wanted to bring up, just to hear some of your thoughts. For any of my Avengers fans out there.
Avengers!
Assemble.
And now I want to get into my final story and final topic for this video, which is actually going to close things up really nicely, I think. I want to reiterate, don't let all the craziness that's going on in the world
Let's get nuts!
stop you from having fun. Don't let them take the joy out of everything, because I think life is beautiful, and if we put all our energy into the darkness, what are we going to see more of? More darkness. If we focus on the light, what are we going to see more of? More of the light. If we could be aware of the darkness, but then find the light through that, I think that's what gives us ultimate power in our lives. It's like years ago, when I was a camper at day camp, by the time like I started to get into the older groups, there was all this talk about color war being rigged. So for any of you guys who don't know, color war is basically a camp event where all the groups compete in all these sports events, dance events, songs, cheers, and like it usually takes place like the end of the summer, and it's like one final competition before the summer ends. But as I got older, a lot of us used to start to think, has color war been rigged? Are the counselors or group leaders or camp owner, are they just deciding who wins randomly, or are they favoring certain groups? Also keep in mind, color war is usually just two teams against each other, so like the whole camp is like divided into two teams. But looking back, what I realized is that whenever we were too focused on whether or not color war was rigged, we let that take away from the joy of playing in the games.
But somewhere along the line, you changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good.
But when we put that out of our minds and just focus on the competition, focus on having fun, focus on competing, and focus on enjoying ourselves, it didn't matter whether or not the winner was rigged, because we still took a positive out of that. So, this leads me into, if politics are a show, if the whole world is a stage, if everything has been inverted, don't let that drain the positive energy out of you. Don't let them stop you from having fun and living your best life. Because if you just focus on taking personal responsibility, doing good for others and good for yourself, having fun, just playing the game of life, you're going to be the winner in the end. And there's nothing that like they could do to stop that. So anyways, guys, love you guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you guys found this video empowering. Stay critical thinking, stay truth seeking, stay positive, focus on the good, focus on the light. I will catch you guys in the next video. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. Make sure to buy the book if you haven't done so already. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.